take a look at that orange shoulder of Orion. That's not just a star, that's a swollen, dying giant. If our sun were to be a family car, then Betelgeuse would be a stadium-sized monster truck idling next to it. It is so massive that if you would have dropped it into our solar system right now, it would swallow Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, and even Jupiter. But here's the problem. This monster is running out of fuel. It's old, it's unstable, and it's even losing mass right now. And when stars like this reach the end of the road, they don't go out quietly. They will go out in an explosion so violent that they will briefly outshine the entire galaxy. We know Betelgeuse is a ticking time bomb, but there's one thing we don't know, and that's the time. Is it 100,000 years away, or is it already exploding and is the light still on its way to us? We don't know, so just let's stop guessing and head to the fun part. Let's run a little simulation. Let's say the timer hits 0 today. Somewhere in the Orion constellation, Betelgeuse's core is finally collapsing under its own weight. The star's outer layers rebound, blast into space at a significant fraction of the speed of light. For Betelgeuse, it's game over. But for us here on Earth, the show is just getting started. What will actually happen to our sky when a star this big dies? Does our night suddenly turn into daytime? Do our satellites get fried, or our oceans, will they boil away? Would you be waking up tomorrow to screaming news alerts, second sun has appeared in our sky? But before you start packing your bags and start running to your underground bunker, take a deep breath, because here's a small reality check. Supernova are indeed the most destructive events in the universe. But in space, distance means everything. At close range, a blast like this would mean total annihilation. Shockwaves, gamma radiation, the whole cosmic horror package. But Betelgeuse is roughly 650 light years away. And I agree, that sounds close when we talk about space. But in safety terms, that's like watching a bomb go off on another continent. So when the radiation of Betelgeuse has been spread out over 650 light years, it's been diluted in an enormous amount of space. We are well outside of the kill zone. Astronomers predict that a supernova has to be within 50 light years to strip our ozone layer and cook us alive. And Betelgeuse is more than 10 times farther away than that. So when it finally explodes, the only thing you're gonna feel on your skin is nothing. But safe doesn't mean boring. If Betelgeuse went supernova tonight, the view would be unlike anything in human history. So one ordinary night and you look up at the constellation of Orion and you immediately see that something is off. That familiar orange dot would suddenly flare up and you would see a brilliant, piercing violet-white light. You'd be able to see it in the middle of the day. Social media would explode. Scientists would be giving interviews during midnight about neutrinos and shockwaves. And then, as time passes, it would slowly fade away. But this is the safe version. So let's turn the dial and make things a little less comfortable. What if Betelgeuse wasn't at 650 light years? What if a star just like it was sitting at only 40 light years away from Earth? The flashes we saw wouldn't just be flashes anymore. They would become a physical weapon. Gamma rays would slam into our atmosphere and strip away our ozone layer. And without that shield, our surface would be cooked. It wouldn't be an instant extinction, but it would be a slow and silent execution. Ecosystems would collapse from the bottom up, satellites would be fried, power grids would fail, and there would be nowhere to hide, even at your underground bunker. But luckily we don't live in that nightmare. We live in the cheap seats, far and far away from the splash zone. And when Betelgeuse finally pops, whether it's tomorrow or over 100,000 years, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but it would be a tragic loss of an old friend. For thousands of years, humans have looked up to that shoulder of Orion. And when it's gone, the hunter will be incomplete forever. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.